Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for us to invite to the podium the man who I describe as the chief galvanizer, the chairman of the Kogi State Trust Fund, who would regale us with why it is important for us to support this 500 billion naira fund. Please make welcome my brother, who is coming to deliver his welcome note, Air Vice Marshal Omeza Farouk. This gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, is a seasoned pilot, is an instructor, and a retired two-star general from the Nigeria Air Force. Please make him welcome. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, highly represented here today by the Minister of Information. The governors here present, so numerous for me to mention, our royal fathers, very distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Please do allow me stand on the existing protocol to save our time so that we can go straight to the real business while we're here today. It is actually my great honor and privilege on behalf of the board and the management of the Kogi State Security Trust Fund to warmly welcome you all to this very important security summit and fundraising. Today's gathering is not only timely, but also very necessary. Kogi State, as we all know, occupies a uniquely strategic position within Nigeria. The state shares boundaries with 9 states in this country, namely Nasarawa State, Benue State, Enugu State, Anambra, Edo, Ondo, and Ekiti States. This central location of Kogi State makes Kogi State a very vital gateway connecting all parts of Nigeria. If you are coming into Nigeria either from south, north, east, you would very much likely pass through this Kogi State. And this connecting different regions facilitates commerce within the state or for Nigeria, travels, and social interactions. These are benefits that we all stand to gain, or that Kogi State provides by connecting Nigeria. However, this same strategy also presents its own significant security challenges of different shapes, sizes, and colors. The multiple entry and exit points into the state create vulnerabilities that can be exploited by criminal elements moving across our borders. As a result, our community, security agencies, and institutions are constantly required and tasked to remain vigilant and proactive in protecting lives and properties. This is why today's summit is very, very important, as it provides us with a platform to come together, both government and security agencies and private sector stakeholders, traditional institutions, community leaders, and concerned citizens to deliberate, share insights, and develop practical strategies for strengthening security across Kogi State. One of the key initiatives of the Kogi State Security Trust Fund that we'll be looking at today, highlighted during this event, is the establishment of well-equipped logistic bases in the 3 senatorial districts of Kogi State, talking about both the East, West, and Central Kogi State. These logistic bases are envisioned as operational support hubs that will enhance coordination among security agencies, improve intelligence gathering, and sharing, strengthening mobility significantly to reduce response time of security threats. Strategically, locating these bases across the senatorial districts will ensure that security personnel have the resources and operational support necessary to respond swiftly, and strengthening collaboration between security agencies and local communities, thereby building a more resilient and secure environment for us all. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, security is a collaborative effort and responsibility. We've always been saying it, that government alone cannot achieve this task without the active support and partnership of individuals, organizations, and the private sectors. It was consequently on this basis that Kogi State Security Trust Fund was established to provide a sustainable platform through which stakeholders can contribute resources and support initiatives aimed at strengthening security in the state. The fundraising component of this summit today is therefore to present us an opportunity for us all to make meaningful contributions towards the realization of this critical initiative, particularly the establishment of the proposed logistic bases that will greatly enhance operational capacity across the state. Let me at this juncture seize this opportunity to sincerely appreciate His Excellency, our dear Governor, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, the Governor of Kogi State, for his support and provision of enabling environment to all the security agencies through the Kogi State Security Trust Fund to have achieved this much security that we all enjoy in Kogi State presently. To all our partners, supporters, and stakeholders who have continued to demonstrate commitment to the peace, safety, development of Kogi State, your presence here today is a clear indication that together we can build stronger and safer community for our citizens. As we proceed with this summit, I encourage us to please engage actively in the discussion segment, share innovative ideas, and work collaboratively towards practical solutions that will help us address the security challenges confronting our state. Once again, I warmly welcome you all and wish us a productive and successful summit. Thank you all. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Kogi State.
Thank you very much indeed. The man who is, I describe, the chief galvanizer for the project called the Kogi State Security Trust Fund, and who sits atop of that agency. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the things he said is he cannot do the job he is doing without the support of His Excellency, the Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, who has provided the enabling environment in supporting security operatives in Kogi State through the Security Trust Fund. He has also mentioned that the meaningful contribution to support this project is a collaborative effort. And without that collaborative effort, it would not be possible to achieve what we are going to achieve today. I'd like to very specially welcome the Ekiti State Governor, His Excellency Governor Oyebanji, who has come to join his brother governor. I'd also like to welcome the Sokoto State Governor, Dr. Ahmed Aliyu, who has also joined us here today. We welcome him. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have so many brother-in-laws in the house, and I am very conscious of the fact that if I do not recognize and greet them as we go along in these recognitions that we're doing in batches, that I might lose my position. I would like to welcome distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our chief launcher for today, Chairman, Board of Governors of Geregu Power Plant. He has arrived here, the very distinguished Senator Abdul Aziz Yari, Marapan Sokoto, Baba Isale of Ikorodu Kingdom, Obalain of Yoruba land, and he makes his way to say hello to. Talking generally about my brother-in-law, and that brother-in-law of mine, and I have a few in the room today, is the former Attorney General of Kogi State, the former Attorney General of the Federation, not Kogi State. He's a Kogi State citizen, a worthy son, but former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. Please give a warm Abuja welcome to Mr. Bayo Ojo, SAN, who I consider one of my foremost brother-in-laws. I'd like to say very quickly that Mr. Bayo Ojo is a patriot of the nation and a worthy son of Kogi State. Stand strong wherever he is to support his state as he has done this morning. We celebrate you, sir. We welcome you. You are not clapping for my brother-in-law. Please don't put me in trouble, oh. Aha. And also, we have very distinguished sons and daughters who have arrived here from across the world, including one who has come in from the United States, Ambassador. We welcome you. It's good to see you. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me at this point to talk about how beautiful Kogi State is and the fact that we do not want to be in our past. The governor of Kogi State has made it possible for us to gather here today for this 500 billion naira fund, which is supposed to support security agencies. We all know how Americans behave when they meet their security agencies. When they meet any agent, they say, "We thank you for your service." If they are sitting on a bus, they give them their seats. If they are on an airplane and they can't find a seat, they give up their seats. We need to do more for our security agencies. We need to do more. Because we are complaining now, we cannot see what they see. Without them, we will not exist. We will be completely obliterated. So we thank you for your service. All of you from the security agencies here, we appreciate you. And in doing so, I want to put on record, very early on in the day when I came through the door, policemen are my in-laws. I married the son of a policeman. So policemen are very special to me. Let's clap for policemen, please. Very important. Very important. As a state with so much history, Kogi State deserves to be safe, and Kogi State deserves to be attractive, bringing in thousands of tourists yearly. Beyond the fact that we bring in some of the greatest agricultural produce across the land. We bring in fat yams, plantains to die for, red oil, cashew nut, and cassava growing very much so in Kogi State. Kogi houses, like I told you, Lord Lugard's rest house on Manpate. Lokoja is headquarters for the Royal Niger Company, sequel to UAC for the British trade. As I told you, it had the first primary school built in Lokoja in northern Nigeria through the effort of Bishop Ajayi Crowther, and also the first hospital and prison in northern Nigeria. So it is important that we arrest whatever it is that is coming to destroy this beautiful state that we have. And so, Excellencies, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, together with the esteemed Director of Protocol, I welcome you to this event. He will now introduce our next event, activity on the program, which is the Keynote. Before he does that, please, the vehicle GWA 730DH Avenza white has his lights or her lights on. I'd like to advise that you step out of the room and switch off your lights. The lights of your car are on and it will run down your battery. GWA 730DH Venza white. I now hand over to the esteemed director.
Thank you very much, my dear sister, Eugenia Abu. Excellency, let me quickly put it on note that the Senate President is ably represented officially by distinguished Senator Jibril Isa Echocho, who represents the eastern flank of Kogi State on this auspicious occasion. And I'm glad to also inform you that, Your Excellency, your distinguished senators and members of House of Representatives from Kogi State are here in their numbers. Almost all of them are here seated, Your Excellency, in support of this event. At this point, permit me to now welcome a man who came to Kogi State with a mindset of being professional. He came promising to see and fight criminality headlong. He is a policeman to the core. He has repositioned the police force in Kogi State, and with the cooperation of His Excellency, the Chief Servant of our state, who vowed from the onset to ensure that anything the security agencies needs to fight insecurity, he will give within the resources available to him. I invite Nasser Bello Kankarofi, Commissioner of Police, Kogi State Command, to please serve us with their first meal today. Let's welcome him, please. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President, the representative of the Senate President, Your Excellencies, governors of the states that are here, members of the Armed Forces and Security Council here, distinguished guests, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me begin this presentation by saying that the provision of security is both essential and challenging all over the world. This is more so in countries grappling with serious political, social, and economic challenges that often fuel instability and undermine security. In such context, the demand for security remains constant. Nigerian governments, federal, states, and local, like other counterparts around the world, have thus recognized that security is not just a basic need, but a fundamental prerequisite for development. Therefore, operational efficiency of security agencies, the police, military, civil defense, and others, is often constrained by inadequate funding, logistics gaps, and delayed budget releases. For Kogi State, a strategic confluence state connecting southern and northern parts of Nigeria, the management of increased security threats, especially harder farmer conflicts, ethnic violence, armed robbery, kidnapping, murder, and other serious crimes, is a monumental task. As these security threats evolve, the security agencies operating in the states are hamstrung by a centralized funding model that continuously leaves them under-equipped, ill-motivated, and logistically paralyzed. Beyond Kogi State, the inadequacies of this funding model have manifested in increased security challenges across the country. In fact, there is logical correlation between inadequate funding and increased insecurity. Across the state and local governments, as well as international organizations and private and non-governmental organizations, have recognized this funding gap and have been taking steps to help in filling it. This calls for a multi-stakeholder security funding model. The federal government has recognized this gap as the percentage of the budgetary allocations to security sector has increased over the years. For instance, it has been estimated that the federal government of Nigeria has allocated over 30 trillion to the security sector between 2012 and 2026. Adding the allocations by the state governments, local governments, and private sector contributions will probably double this figure. Between 2023 and 2025 alone, 32 state governments embarked over 525 billion for security votes. However, despite these increased allocations, critics have questioned the misalignment between massive financial input and poor security output. This is debatable. Indeed, others believe that the scale and complexity of insecurity across the country requires even more funding and a better funding release mechanisms. This is because allocations and actual spendings are not the same. Indeed, the Senate recently recognized the Office of the National Security Advisor's predicament in the implementation of the 2025 budget, attributing this to the envelope budgeting system, irregular overhead releases, and the non-implementation of capital appropriations. Therefore, increased allocations alone does not address the funding gap. This paper proposes a multi-stockholder security funding model to bridge this gap. It examines security funding by subnational governments and private sector players in Kogi State as panacea for improved operational efficiency, by which I mean the ability of security agencies to achieve maximum results in terms of crime prevention, response time, intelligence gathering, and prosecution of crimes. By subnationals, I mean the state and the local governments, and by private sector partners, I mean corporate organizations including banks, telecoms, oil firms, and community-based organizations. To achieve this objective, I will first examine the security landscape in Nigeria and then discuss the existing centralized framework for the funding of security agencies in Nigeria. Thereafter, I will identify options within the multi-stakeholder funding approach by highlighting the emerging roles of security trust funds across the country and the contribution of other subnationals and private sector players towards a well-funded security system in Nigeria. I will conclude with some recommendations on how filling the funding gap can increase the operational efficiency of security agencies in Kogi State. Let me begin looking at the Nigerian security landscape. The term public security is a relational concept. It is a primary obligation of government towards its citizens. The security of citizens cannot be segregated from the security of the state itself. For without one, the other will be meaningless. Solomon Arasi defines security broadly to encompass all state actions directed at emplacing, upholding, and deploying national laws, strategies, policies, and state law enforcement agencies towards the maintenance of peace, law, and order, safeguarding citizens from fear or threats, their values, livelihood, liberty, lives, and property. Musa Suchi defines broadly as range of technologies and practices provided to guarantee the safety of lives and property of members of society, not only by the state security forces, such as the police, army, navy, air force, and the rest of them, but also by non-security organizations such as vigilante groups, neighborhood watch groups, private security companies, etc., competing in the public space. The provision of security is a collective responsibility that is often managed by coordinated agencies within the security sector. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the mechanisms established by states to protect people's rights, establish and maintain order, and guarantee stability and security are usually referred to collectively as the security sector. This sector collectively performs the law and order function. The United Nations defines security sector as a broad term often used to describe the structures, institutions, and personnel responsible for the management, provision, and oversight of security in a country. In line with this broad definition, therefore, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, defines the key institution in the security sector to include the following: core security actors like the armed forces, police, customs and immigration, intelligence and security services, security management and oversight bodies like the Ministry of Defense, Police and Internal Affairs, and Public Complaints Commission, justice and law enforcement institutions like the judiciary, prisons, Ministry of Justice and the prosecution agencies, and non-statutory security forces like private security companies. In Nigeria, these institutional actors collectively and individually exercise the core of the state in maintaining law and order. The constitutional provision that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of governments has become a popular cliche. In Nigeria, therefore, the country practices a presidential constitutional democracy. The existing public security architecture largely reflects its military command and control antecedents. The system is also based on a peculiar form of federalism dictated by the turbulent political history of the country. The management, control, and funding of the police force and other security agencies established by acts of the National Assembly, e.g., state security services, civil defense, etc., are centralized to align with the management and control of the military. For instance, the Nigerian Police Force is directly controlled by the President through the IGP, who is directly responsible for its effective use, operation, and deployment to protect lives and properties across the country. The Constitution imposes a duty on communities and citizens to render assistance to appropriate and lawful agencies in the maintenance of law and order. This recognizes that there is no way the provision of security can be effective without the citizens' input. Section 11 of the Constitution provides that the National Assembly may make laws for the Federation or any part thereof with respect to the maintenance and securing of public safety and public order, and providing, maintaining, and securing of supplies and services as may be designated by the National Assembly. Section 214 sub 1 of the 1999 Constitution established the Nigerian Police Force by stipulating that there shall be a police force for Nigeria, which shall be known as the Nigeria Police Force, and no other police force shall be established for the Federation or any part thereof. In line with the separation of powers doctrine enshrined in the Constitution, the Nigeria Police Force is to be organized and administered in accordance with the enactments of the National Assembly, and the members of the Nigeria Police Force shall have such powers and duties as may be conferred upon them by law. In addition, the legislature may create a branch of the NPF, that is the Nigeria Police Force, for the protection of harbors, waterways, railways, and airfields. State commands are also directly created by the Constitution, as it provides that there shall be a commissioner of police for each state of the Federation, who shall be appointed by the Police Service Commission, and that Nigeria Police Force shall be under the command of the Inspector General of Police, and contingents of Nigeria Police stationed in a state shall, subject to the authority of the Inspector General of Police, be under the command of the Commissioner of Police of that state. Part 1 of the third schedule also established the Nigeria Police Council and the Nigeria Police Service Commission. Next, I want to look at the legal framework for funding of security agencies in Nigeria. The Constitution provides a foundation for the centralized security funding in Nigeria. It vests exclusive legislative powers on the National Assembly regarding matters dealing with police and other government security services established by law. Similarly, security matters are also under exclusive federal legislative competence. The implication is that these security agencies are to be operated and funded by the federal government. Therefore, within the context of the Constitution, policing powers are exercisable by the Nigerian Police Force and other apparatus as may be established by the National Assembly, This is the internal security role. The Police Act 2020 further reinforces and elaborates on the constitutional provisions, extensively covering the establishment, powers, functions, and operational structure of the Nigeria Police Force. Of significance to security funding are sections 26 to 30 of the Act, which establish a general fund into which budgetary allocations for capital and recurrent expenditure appropriated by the National Assembly for the NPF are paid. Importantly, the same section provides that the following payments shall also be paid into the general fund. 1. Contributions by state governments and the Federal Capital Territory, aid and assistance from international, bilateral, and multilateral organizations, all sums of money by way of grant in aid, gift, donations, endowment, and contributions from any other source. Money generated by the police force shall, in the course of its operations, for example, police extracts, and any other financial resources. The Police Act therefore recognizes funding by states, international organizations, and private entities. However, such funds are to be paid directly into the general fund. The Act also requires state governments and the FCT to keep record of their contributions and specify the purpose for which the contribution is made. Contributions for which the state government or FCT or international and private organizations specify a purpose shall be applied strictly for that purpose. Curiously, there is no sanction for misapplication of such purpose-based funding. Similarly, there is no provision for local government contributions. While it recognizes multiple funding sources, the Police Act further reinforces the centralization of funding by way of the general fund. The Act mandates the Nigerian Police Force to apply the money in the general fund for administration, operations, payment of pension and retirement benefits, capital expenditure, operation of community policing committees, investments, maintenance of utilities, training, research, and similar activities, payment for any other function of the Nigeria Police Force under the Act. In addition to the Constitution, Police Act, there are other extensive federal legislative instruments having direct bearing on security funding in Nigeria. For instance, the Nigerian Tax Act 2025 established the Defense and Security Infrastructure Fund, DSIF, a dedicated financing mechanism through a 4% development levy on companies. 10% of this levy will be funneled into a central pool to be managed by the NSA, the National Security Advisor, Army, Police, and the Department of State Services. Similarly, Section 44 of the Cyber Crimes Prohibition and Prevention Act 2015 established the National Cyber Security Fund, into which shall be paid the following: a levy of 0.005% of all electronic transactions, grants in aid, and assistance from donor, bilateral, and multilateral agencies, monies by way of gifts, endowments, bequests, or other voluntary contributions by persons and organizations, monies as may be appropriated for the fund by the National Assembly. It provides 40% of the National Cyber Security Fund is to be deployed for countering violent extremism. The fund is under the management and control of the Office of the National Security Advisor. Now I will discuss the impact of over-centralization. The reality is that centralization of security funding and management in the hands of the federal government has become a major impediment to the operational efficiency of the security agencies in the states. The security funding is provided by the federal government through budgetary appropriation. Accessing and utilizing the fund usually faces immense bureaucratic delays and bottlenecks. The result has been inadequate patrol vehicles, poor housing for security personnel, obsolete and inadequate communication equipment, limited fuel allocation, and poor welfare. In addition, this impacts operational efficiency due to slow response time, intelligence lapses, and massive public distrust. Now, let me look at a multi-stakeholder security funding in Nigeria, beginning with funding by subnational governments and private organizations. Virtually all state and local governments across the country have recognized the imperative for providing additional funding to security agencies within their respective states and council areas, since providing security to residents ultimately rests on their shoulders, regardless of the constitutional structure in place. Indeed, Nigeria's national security strategy adopts a whole-of-society approach by which funding security is critical. It is not enough to accuse the federal government of neglecting its security funding obligations. This is supported by the first constitutional provision that the protection of lives and property is the primary responsibility of all governments. Second, by the proximity principle, the state and local government bear the direct impact of insecurity and therefore better placed to identify and address local security concerns and challenges. Finally, development in the states and local councils hinge on security. Insecurity, for example, disrupts supply chains and disincentivizes investments. A secure environment improves returns on investment. I will now look at the models for secondary security funding, starting with the private sector efforts. Private sector organizations usually provide secondary security funding through different approaches. First, some private organizations directly fund or support specific units or formations by providing vehicles, CCTV cameras, fuel, office renovation, etc. Second, private organizations also provide support for security agencies through their corporate social responsibility programs. Some banks and telecommunication companies use funds for their CSR, corporate social responsibility, to provide communication upgrades, emergency call centers, and forensic laboratories. Finally, private organizations may enter into MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with security agencies to procure drones, data analytics trackers, and other tools. Next, I will look at models for secondary security funding, looking at the subnationals, the states. Subnational interventions come in three forms. One, direct intervention by procuring operational vehicles, communication gadgets, and other technologies. Joint task force to co-fund specific operations, such as Operation Yaki in Kaduna, Operation Delta Force, etc. Establishment of State Security Trust Fund to institutionalize a public-private partnership approach to security funding in the states and local government areas. The latter approach is more organized and structured and will now be examined in greater details. Let me look at funding through state security trust funds. A few examples of how state government drive public-private partnership in funding security within the states can be seen below. I will briefly select one state from the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, namely Lagos, Kogi, Delta, Kaduna, Anambra, and Borno states. Beginning with Lagos State Security Trust Fund. Lagos State pioneered the State Security Fund model as far back as the year 2007, when it became clear that the inadequacy of the centralized funding model could undermine its vision for a prosperous, stable Lagos State. Therefore, the Lagos State government established the Lagos State Security Trust Fund to engineer a private-public partnership to bridge the security funding gap and support security agencies in terms of improving operational capacity and efficiency. Under its enabling law, the Lagos State Trust Fund's primary objective is to source funds from governments, individuals, and private organizations, and monitor disbursement for the acquisition and deployment of equipment, as well as for training the security personnel. Members of the board of trustees are mainly drawn from the private sector. In practice, donors usually provide support as part of their corporate social responsibility. Recently, Globalcom donated $1 billion to Lagos State Security Trust Fund as an investment in stability. recognizing that the company requires a stable business environment to operate and drive value. This is considered one of the largest donations and described as a demonstration of corporate citizenship and strategic investment in the stability of Lagos. The company strengthened its stand in public safety supporter, and the Lagos State Trust Fund declared that when people feel free, enterprises grow, creativity flourishes, and hope becomes practical. This donation followed a Lagos State Trust Fund organized private sector CEO's breakfast hosted by the state governor, Sanwo-Olu. Other states followed the Security Trust Fund model pioneered by Lagos State. Next, I will look at the Kogi State Trust Fund. Kogi State must be commended for being one of the early adopters of the Security Trust Fund approach to bridging funding gaps for security in Nigeria. In 2012, the Kogi State Security Trust Fund law established the Kogi State Security Trust Fund with the main objective of providing money for the acquisition and deployment of security equipment and such human, material, and financial resources as shall be necessary for the effective functioning of all federal, state, local government, and other security agencies operating in the state, and part of the fund shall be reserved for the training of security personnel. The board comprises of an executive chairman, representative of the secretary to the state government, 6 members appointed from the public, and 1 representative of the traditional institution. The board members are appointed by the governor. The law states that any certificate signed by or on behalf of the governor which gives the name of the chairman and members of the board on a specified date shall be receivable in evidence without further proof, and shall be deemed to state accurately the names of the persons who constitute members of the board. The board manages the fund, procure and maintain equipment for use in Kogi by federal, state, and local security agencies, establish the main logistical base for such equipment, take out and maintain insurance policy for the fund and any security personnel, regulate the activities of private sector security agencies, and advise the governor on the activities of all security agencies and welfare of law enforcement personnel in the state, and ensure at all times that the fund have sufficient money and material to offer support for the protection of lives and property in Kogi State. Section 10 allows the Kogi State Security Trust Fund to invest in any of this money in fixed deposit accounts. The law also allows the board to raise money from government agencies, individuals, and private organizations. Because of lack of time, I will have to abridge my paper. To save the time, I will not look at the remaining State Security Trust Fund, but I will give you a brief analysis of the Security Trust Fund models and then conclude. While the purpose of the objectives of security funds are the same across all states, to bridge funding, security funding gaps, there are notable differences and advantages and disadvantages of the differing models in terms of composition and sources of funding among the states examined above. It is clear that while the private sector-oriented board reduces bureaucratic bottlenecks and instills more donor confidence, the state-centric public sector-dominated board shields the state from private sector influence or capture in security matters. The former appears to favor operational efficiency by rapid deployment of resources and by security agencies. Now, let me look at the operational efficiency of security agencies. In general, increased security funding increases operational efficiency of security agencies in the following ways: increased mobility and presence by patrol assets, leading to faster response and crime detection, morale boost and welfare of personnel through access to housing and provision of insurance and hazard allowance, leveraging modern technologies including body cams, database enhances investigation and prosecution of cases, security presence and joint PPP in security, build trust and aids intelligence gathering. Now, my conclusions and recommendations. This paper shows that there has been increased determination by state governments to bridge security funding gaps through the establishment and management of security trust funds. This is a good approach. My conclusion is that increased funding can improve operational efficiency of security agencies. However, increased security funding without proper utilization and accountability will not produce the desired outcomes. In addition, funding intervention is often more effective when it is not generic budget increase, but a targeted, purpose-specific intervention. It will certainly improve operational security funding and address social welfare. Education and healthcare needs produce better security outcomes. To improve operational efficiency in the security agencies in Kogi State, we recommend the following. 1. Kogi State Security Trust Fund should intensify more private sector contribution with a sweetener. It should take advantage of the strategic position of the state in solid mineral sector by incentivizing mining companies to redirect their private sector budgets towards Kogi State Security Trust Fund. Contributions in exchange for tax rebates. This can also extend to telecom companies and banking and other financial institutions. Number 2, the government should consider amending the Kogi State Security Trust Fund law to substitute the 1% of all major contract and percentage from state, local government and joint accounts committee with a fixed rate of 0.5% state IGR to avoid potential legal and political challenges. Number 3, leverage the development mandate of the North Central Development Commission and push for institution and disbursement of security infrastructure contribution to state security trust funds in the region. This can be used for the procurement and deployment of state-of-the-art technologies, including drones, body cameras, and communication gadgets. Given our mixed findings in the correlation between increased funding and improved security, it is important to complement increased funding with non-enforcement spendings, such as government increased funding for youth employment, community development, healthcare, and education. Given the weak correlation between more budgetary allocation and improved security, it is important for government to prioritize utilization over allocation. This requires strategic spendings, focusing on purpose-driven, targeted allocation. This requires strategic spending, focusing on purpose-driven, targeted operational needs of security agencies instead of figurative increase of allocation. As stated earlier, how the money is spent is as important as how much is spent. In conclusion, I want to use this medium to thank the governor and government of, and the people of Kogi State for the tremendous support given to the Kogi State Police Command and other security agencies in dealing with banditry, dealing with terrorism, and harder farmer clashes. As you can see, in the recent past, Kogi State is becoming more calm and is business and investment friendly as a result of the massive support the security agencies are enjoying from His Excellency, the Governor, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo. So we want to thank you. We want to continue to pledge our loyalty. And we want to tell you that by the grace of God, all the indigenes and people of Kogi State and even visitors will go and sleep with their 2 eyes closed as we remain more determined, more than ever, to put in our best and make sure that these criminals will give a very good run for their money. Thank you very much. But I'm sorry for taking too much.
Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President, the Honorable Minister of State, Regional Development, Honorable Obama Amadu, we thank you and your presence with us today. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, what an excellent paper. I believe that this paper that has been so delivered has been well thought out, very well researched, and it shows a man who is cerebral, confident, knowledgeable, and on top of his game. A publishable, researched paper. CP hails from Kano State and is a pride to his state, and the representative of the Kano State government, Honorable Muhammad Jamu, national ex-officio member of the APC, is here present and should be leading the chairs for the CP of Kogi State. Let's hear another round of applause for him. Thank you, sir. I see you. The CP is a versatile and well-educated officer. He holds a PhD in economics and political science combined honors, a Bachelor of Laws and a Master of Laws. He is currently pursuing a PhD in law and is the 40th officer to head the command and assumed duty in October of 2025 with
Thank you.
renewed commitment in tackling criminality and has engaged in active community policing in Lokoja. He is truly an asset to Kogi State. We thank you so very much. That was very well done, very well delivered. I want to believe that that paper itself should be serialized in the newspapers and on social media so that we can pick up all the things we need to hear from it. I'd like to say that, of course, with us is the representative of the President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Jibril Issa Echucho, Senator representing Kogi East. We thank you for your presence, and we thank you for representing the Senate President. Amongst those who are here with us today, on ground in person, the Governor of Ekiti State, His Excellency Governor Ibanji, Governor of Edo State, His Excellency is Senator Okpebolo, Governor of Borno State, His Excellency Professor Zulum, Governor of Sokoto State, Dr. Ahmad Aliyu, His Excellency. We also have representations, the Kwara State Governor, who is Chairman of Governors Forum, is represented by the Deputy Governor. The Nasarawa State Governor is represented by the SSG. Kaduna State is represented by the Commissioner for Internal Security. And of course, we have the Governor of Kano State represented by Honorable Mohammed Jamu, National Ex-Officio Member. And also we have the representative of Bauchi State. Amongst the captains of industry in the room, the president of Dangote worldwide, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, is represented by Engineer Mansour Ahmed, who is advisor to the president. We have representing Mangal Industries, Engineer Mangal, who is seated with us today. We truly would like to thank you all. We have, of course, the next speaker, and we will try to keep it pared down so that we can do the business of the day today. I'd like to say, as a very proud daughter of Kogi State, I see that my governor has his cap in the right direction. It means that he means business. Kogi is open for security business. Kogi is open for raising the funds to secure citizens. And you heard the commitment of the Commissioner of Police. All his brother governors have come here to do justice. And His Excellency, the distinguished Senator Yari, is here to do honors as the chief launcher, as the original chief launcher is away and has traveled. We thank you, the very distinguished Senator Yari, for accepting at the drop of the hat every time. When you call on Senator Yari, he does not hesitate to come to assist. Every time, under any circumstance. I'd like us to give a round of applause to our chief launcher as we prepare to make progress in this 500 billion naira fund. Director, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Virginia. While we had that lecture, we witnessed the arrival of Chief Ade Adeleye, Special Advisor to the Governor on Security Matters of Ondo State, representing His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ondo State. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate your presence in our midst. I want to say that His Excellency, the Chief Servant of our state, holds members of his National Assembly in very high esteem. And it is in the light of that that I quickly inform us that we have Senator Sunday Steve Karimi, representing Kogi West. He is here in our midst to support this endeavor. Right Honorable Paul Gowon Idris Haruna represents the good people of Basadekina Federal Constituency. Right Honorable Sani Egide Ibrahim represents the good people of Ajaokuta Federal Constituency. Right Honorable Danladi Suleiman Aguye represents the people of Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency. Right Honorable Architect Salman Idris is also here for Ijumu Kababunu Federal Constituency. Right Honorable Idris David Zacharias represents the good people of Ida Federal Constituency. Thank you so much. We appreciate your presence in our midst. And I won't gloss over the fact that we have in our midst Daudu Ataba Sanemolori, former clerk of the National Assembly, who is also here seated. While we're also talking, the Honorable Speaker of our State House of Assembly came in, the speaking speaker. The governor welcomes you and members of your entourage. And permit me to also psych you up our co-launchers, Prince Engineer Olusoji Olatunji, Chairman CEO of TAC Group Worldwide, and Dr. Mustafa Abdullahi, DG CEO of Energy Commission of Nigeria. Just get prepared to give us what we want and make this event very, very rich. Thank you. You're welcome. Excellency, I feel honored to now invite our brother, a distinguished academic, Dr. Ayuba Oche of the Department of Sociology and Security Studies, Federal University Lafayette, to speak to the next topic at this event. He will have just 5 minutes to summarize his paper. Let's put our hands together for him, please. Thank you.
Our royal fathers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to lean on the already established protocol. The title of my paper this morning is Public-Private Partnership as a Tool for Strengthening Security Infrastructure in Kogi State. Distinguished participants, what is public-private partnership? Public-private partnership is a contract between government institutions and private firms. This contract had been in existence across Nigeria, not just only in Kogi State, but that of Kogi State remains unique. One, why is public-private partnership important in Kogi State? Distinguished participants, you may agree with me that Kogi states occupy a central space in the heart of Nigeria, and it is the states that have most border compared to other states, and these borders were both landed, the mountainous, and waterborne. And you know, this terrain attracts security challenges. Distinguished participants, I want to draw our attention to the fact that kidnapping, farmer-herder clashes, communal clashes, and other security challenges are prevalent in Kogi State. And you agree with me that the state government resources cannot cater for the security need alone, because security apparatuses are expensive. And there is a popular saying that no matter how much we spend on security to provide security, is cheaper than the cheapest insurgency across the world. Distinguished Governor of Borno State is here. He can attest to what I just said, because he is one general in that aspect. Now, having noted that Kogi State is strategic, the government alone cannot meet this need. We've seen previous administration in Kogi State put in their best in order to surmount the security challenges, but of course, our national resources is dwindling, and the need to secure the people is important, because once Kogi State is insecure, Nigeria is insecure, because the healthiness of an individual is from the heart. Kogi State occupies the heart of the nation. And now, why is public-private partnership important? It is important because it has been in existence. Public-private partnership has been in existence in Kogi State, but they have been focused on agriculture and other sectors. Not much has been done in terms of security, even though we know 1 or 2 private organizations have made their contribution in terms of security contribution. But of course, much is still needed to be done. And what are the ways that we can do this? What are the things that are needed? Of course, as security evolves, technology also develops, or as technology evolves, security also expands. There is need for technological tools like drones, plate number identification from distance, and we need effective patrol machines, be it speedboats, be it speed bike, and drones, among others. And these things are lacking, and of course, we need collective effort to achieve this. What are the efforts? Kogi State government can leverage on the companies in Kogi State, especially those into mining, those like banking, in the banking industries and whatsoever in Kogi to generate these resources. And this can be done in synergy. All right. This can be done in synergy, although I have a lot of things written down, but I am forced to jump it because of the time. It's too limited for me to discuss my point. All right, I would like to stop it here. Thank you. I wouldn't want to waste your time.
Thank you so much. Let's put our hands together for him again. We appreciate him. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you know, there is the summit and there's the fundraising. And because there is the summit and the fundraising, where we don't want to spend too much time at the summit, some of the papers will be distributed. If you have your registration and you have your online, we will be able to send them to you. His Excellency, the representative of the Vice President, agrees with me. Would like to recognize and welcome the Elulu of Mopa, His Royal Highness Oba Muiwa Ibem Ekabosa. Ade Pelori Kibata Pelese Ekabo Eshe Adukpe. The Comptroller General Federal Fire Service Olu Mode SA is here with us, and we appreciate him. As a daughter of the state, I happen to be very well loved in the state. Governor Yakoavo, Anyarukata, Akoro, Onume Ajino non Yakumuriavo, Akoro. And so that is my mother. My father, Ibomi Igala Megba, Meolugu, Achugbedime, Megbale. So we welcome everybody, because as a true daughter, who else would have done this assignment if it is not me? This is the time for me to invite my very dear brother, the man who understands the dynamics of security, and who, as an individual and an academic, has done exceedingly great work in his state. And now, one of the conversations we had one morning in Maiduguri, he said to me, I have my office in the university. When I'm done, I'm going to go back there. Please help me welcome the very distinguished Excellency Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, to come forward and speak on behalf of the governors in situ. Professor Zulum, Your Excellency, sir. Thank you very much indeed for being here, for leaving your duties to support Kogi State. Please give him a resounding round of applause as he makes his way up to the podium.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Minister of State for Regional Integration, Senator Obama Gari Amadou, my colleagues, of the host governor, Kogi, the governor of Sokoto State, Ikiti Edo, Deputy Governor of Kwara State, the representative of the Senate President, my senior brother, distinguished Senator Yari, and other senators that are here present. Sorry, the former governor of Kogi State, the Great Lion. Good afternoon. Members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, former ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our traditional rulers, CEO of boards and parastatals, House of Assembly members, members of the State Executive, State House of Assembly of Kogi State, heads of security agencies that are here, good afternoon. It gives me a great pleasure to make a few remarks on this very important occasion organized by the Kogi State government, titled Kogi State Security Summit and Fundraising. The topic is very important. Why? Because the security of lives and properties of the citizens is the cardinal objective of any administration. This is number one. Two, the nexus between peace, security, and development need not to be overemphasized. It's only when there is security, when there is peace, there will be security. And when there will be security, then there will be development. Without peace, without security, there will be no development. So the nexus need not to be overemphasized. Then talking about the security situation, addressing the security challenges is not easy. It requires a humongous amount of funding. It requires a humongous amount of funding. Most especially let me also welcome my colleague, my senior brother, the governor of Kebbi State. You are most welcome. So I just want to summarize as follows. Because Borno State has been facing security challenges for the last decade. But by the will of Lord and with our commitment, we were able to surmount our security challenges. And we have reduced our security problems by over 90%. But it's not easy. One, how shall we address our security situation problems? One, it has been said all that we need to have modern technological warfare. The kinetic measures alone will not end the insurgency. We need to have modern equipment that can deal with the insurgents. Countries are using artificial intelligence, robotics engineering, amongst others, with drones and others to address the lingering security situation. Because it's very difficult for somebody to deal with an enemy that he don't see. I believe subnationals don't have enough funding to address such critical problems. However, with the support of the federal government of Nigeria, inshallah, we shall deal with this situation. So, today's event is timely and apt. And therefore, I want to specifically call upon indigenes of Kogi State government, Kogi State, to contribute generously to this occasion. The donation should not end today in this chamber. It will be a continuous process, especially by the indigenes of Kogi State government, Kogi State. Then, the second issue that I want to inform this gathering is that the socio-economic and political dimensions of the crisis is very important. increasing poverty, increasing climate vulnerabilities, increasing infrastructural deficit, increasing illiteracy, amongst others, has to be addressed if we want to address insecurity in Nigeria. So, Mr. Governor, while you are buying motor vehicles, MRAPs, drones and others to confront the insurgents, yes, it's important, but most importantly, without addressing the underlying factors such as poverty, road infrastructures, agriculture, amongst others, insecurity will never end. So I want you to dedicate some of your funding to also look into these problems. Addressing poverty at the grassroots level is also very important because some were driven by poverty. On this note, on behalf of my colleagues, on behalf of the Governor of Kwara State, who is the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, I want to call upon the government of Nigeria, the federal government of Nigeria, the launchers, co-launchers, chip launchers, co-launchers, we the governors to generously contribute to the basket fund so that Kogi State will get rid of the insurgency. The MC has said it all about the strategic location of Kogi in Nigeria. It has been bordering many states close to Abuja, get route to almost many states in Nigeria. I believe addressing security challenges in Kogi State entails addressing security challenges in Nigeria to a greater extent. I want to assure you that apart from our own contributions, inshallah, as a governor who is in the forefront for the last 7 years, I will give all the necessary support in terms of technical assistance to your own administration and to your security agencies, so that together we shall fight the insurgency. Thank you very much, and may God bless all of you.
His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, has spoken on behalf of the Nigeria Governors Forum Chair and his brother governors who are here. He has spoken about contributing to the basket fund and has appealed to both the federal government, private sector individuals, as well as launchers and co-launchers to do the needful to secure Kogi State. He has also offered, as a man who has been in the forefront for 7 years of fighting insurgency, technical assistance to Kogi State. Please let's hear another round of applause for the Governor of Borno State. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'd like to warmly welcome the Kebbi State Governor, His Excellency Mohammed Nasser Idris. We welcome you. Thank you for joining us. And we also, as it were, thank all Governor Ododo's brother governors and their representatives who have come here to show solidarity with him. We also extend our heartfelt thankfulness to His Excellency the Vice President, and of course his representative is here, and therefore we consider Mr. Vice President here with us today. Professor Zulum has mentioned quickly that the social infrastructure of the state must be looked into. Fighting illiteracy, fighting poverty in the grassroots, climate vulnerability. Those are so important, along with the kinetic and non-kinetic ways of fighting insurgency. Those are important to do. I'd like to greet and welcome Honorable Durosimi Meseko, Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC, who has joined us here today. We appreciate you. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, In my country home in Olamaboro local government area of Kogi State, I like to sit under coconut trees. I like to walk around the palms in my farmhouse. There's nowhere more peaceful if you understand Kogi State. That is where I go to regenerate, to get my head back when Abuja is too hot for me. And in those areas that you hear about in Kogi State, if you are just able to be friends with somebody from Kogi State and you go to visit, you will be asking yourself why you even live in Abuja. Because if there are train stations between Kogi and Abuja, very soon many people will not live in Abuja again. It's a short drive really, if not for some difficulties on the road. However, if you live in Lokoja and you work in Kogi State, and you work in Abuja, you will find the peaceful nature and the fresh nature of the food that is in the hinterlands of Kogi State very important for your health. Because I am a living witness, and if you look at me, I don't look that tired now. We know that if we live in Kogi State or we visit for holiday, we can do a lot of things to make things better for our health and for our communities. Walking around people in the rural areas teaches us a lesson of humility. It teaches us a lesson of simplicity. It teaches us a lesson of faith, and it keeps us all together. It is now my singular pleasure and honor to invite my own governor, the governor of Kogi State, the chief servant himself of Kogi State, His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, to come forward and deliver that speech we've all been waiting for about why he invited us all here today. He greets his brother governors as he makes his way up to the podium, and it's time now for us to invite him to deliver his speech.
Thank you. Thank you. He is a perpetual promise keeper. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Thank you. His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by my brother, Honorable Minister of Regional Development, Honorable Bamegeri Amadu. I thank you most sincerely for taking out time to be here with us. His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Gospel Fabio, GCON, the President of the Senate, ably represented by Senator Isa Jibri Echocho. Your Excellency, my own senior brother, the Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulu. Your Excellency, my senior brother, the Governor of Ekiti State, Chief Biodo Abayomi Oyebanji Bao. Your Excellency, Dr. Ahmed Aliu Sokoto, my twin brother, the Executive Governor of Kogi State. Your Excellency, my own immediate senior brother, but in this business, I think he's following me, Senator Monday of Pebelo, the only governor that I senior, the Governor of Edo State. Your Excellency, the Governor Comrade, my own elder brother, Comrade Muhammad Nasiru Idris, the Executive Governor of Borno State. I thank you most sincerely. To Kogi State, sorry. I thank you most sincerely. You know, it's a comrade, so he's the owner of all of us. When it is hot, we'll run to him. Thank you for finding time to be here. His Excellency Alhaji Abdurrahman Abdurazak, the Governor of Kwara State, ably represented by his deputy. I thank you most sincerely. His Excellency Engineer Sule Abdullahi, Executive Governor of Nasarawa State, ably represented by the SSG. You're welcome. His Excellency, the former Governor of Zamfara State and Chairman, Geregu Power PLC, and of course, most distinguished Abdulaziz Yari, who doubles as the chief launcher of this event. His Excellency is a senior brother, is a stakeholder, is a man of honor. I want to thank you for thinking about Kogi State. He has a very massive investment as far as Kogi State is concerned, and I can assure you that your investment is safe, your investment is secured, and by the special grace of God, we will work together. Your Excellency, my own mentor, my own leader, my own role model, Alhaji Ayabelo, CON, the immediate past governor of Kogi State, and former governors that are here present. Let me recognize distinguished senators that are here. Senator Karimi Sunday, I want to use you as point of contact to all members of the National Assemblies that are here present. The Speaker, Kogi State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Umar Aliu, and every other members of Kogi State House of Assembly that are here present. Representatives of Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, Inspector General of Police, and other heads of paramilitary agencies that are here present. The former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, our own uncle, Chief Bayo Ojo Esed, I thank you most sincerely, and every other senior advocates that are here present with us. My own brother, the former clerk of the National Assembly, Alhaji Prince Mohammed Ataba Sani Omolori, I thank you most sincerely for finding time to be here. The Secretary to the Government of Kogi State, Mrs. Folashade Arike Ayoade, PhD, the State Security Advisor, Navy Commander Jerry Omodara, retired, and other members of Kogi State Executive Council that are here present. Let me also recognize the lead co-launchers, Prince Engineer Olusoji Olatunji, Chairman of TAC Group and Asiwaju of Aere Kingdom, and the DG Energy Commission of Nigeria, Dr. Abdullahi Mustafa. Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Executive Chairman of Kogi State Local Government that are here present, the representative of the President of Dangote Group, the representative of Manga Group of Company, and other captains of industry that are here present. Your Royal Majesty, Dr. Alhaji Ahmed Tijani Muhammad Anaje, the Ohinoi of Ebila Land and Vice Chairman, Kogi State Council of Chiefs, Saki. Your Royal Majesty, the Obaro of Kaba, Oba Dr. Solomon Dele Awoni, Kabesio, and every other royal fathers that are here present. The Executive Chairman, Kogi State Security Trust Fund, Air Vice Marshal Umar Omeda Farouk, retired, and members of his team, heads of parastatals, commission, agencies, and extra ministerial departments of both federal and state governments that are here present, heads of banks and other financial institutions, members of the organized private sector, other critical stakeholders that are here with us, all serving members of the National Assembly, even past, and of course my colleague, those of us that served with Alhaji Yaya Bello, who we all resolved for me to pilot and spearhead this mandate. As I've said, this mandate is people's mandate. The trust is people's trust. Hence, we are here today to continue to build on that trust. Illustrious son of Kogi State, both home and in diaspora, led by Barrister Tunde Ayani, other invited guests, members of the 4th and 5th Estate of the realm, ladies and gentlemen. On the day I took the oath of office, I made a solemn promise to the people of Kogi State that the protection of lives and property will be the first and most sacred duty of my own administration. Today, as we gather here, I stand to reaffirm that commitment with even greater resolve. This summit is a call to action, a moment to renew our shared responsibility to secure our state and safeguard our future. As the philosopher Thomas Hobbes rightly observed, I quote, "The safety of the people is the supreme law," end of quote. That timeless truth reminds us that those entrusted with public responsibility must place security above every other thing. Security remains the foundation upon which all meaningful development stands. Without peace, investment cannot thrive, communities cannot grow, and our aspiration for prosperity cannot be realized. It is therefore our duty, collectively, to ensure that Kogi State remains safe, stable, and conducive for progress. The security landscape has evolved significantly over time. What we once knew as conventional crime has transformed into more complex challenges, such as kidnapping, banditry, terrorism, and cyber crimes. These threats are dynamic, coordinated, and increasingly sophisticated, demanding that we also evolve in our strategies and responses. Kogi State occupies a unique and strategic position as the gateway between the North and the South. This centrality, while a blessing for commerce and connectivity, also presents serious security challenges. The constant movement of people and goods, while beneficial for economic growth, also create opportunities for criminal elements to infiltrate our communities. In recent times, we have witnessed emerging threats, including criminal networks operating in forested and remote areas, the use of technology by criminals to evade detection, and cross-border movement that threaten our peace. These challenges require urgent, proactive, and intelligence-driven responses. As a government, we have not relented in our efforts. We have made significant investments in strengthening our security architecture through the provision of operational vehicles, deployment of advanced communication and surveillance systems, acquisition of drones, and continuous support for security operations across the state. These efforts have begun to yield results, restoring calm in many areas and disrupting criminal activities and networks. At this point, I must acknowledge with deep appreciation the visionary leadership of my leader and predecessor, His Excellency Alhaji Ayab Bello, whose administration laid the solid foundation for the security architecture we are strengthening today. His bold investment, proactive strategies, and uncompromising stance on crime earned both him and Kogi State national recognition and multiple commendation as leaders in security management. We are proud to build on that legacy, and we remain committed to improving upon it to ensure even greater safety for our people. I thank you most sincerely. Let me also commend and appreciate the unwavering support, commitment, and determination of my father, my role model, and my president, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, towards ensuring a safer Kogi State and a more secure Nigeria. His leadership has brought renewed focus on intelligence-driven security, strengthening interagency collaboration, and, as I related, the modernization of our security infrastructure. His dedication continues to drive confidence and reinforce our effort at the state level. We also thank all the heads of our security agencies for the successfully implementing the security plans of Mr. President. We are indeed grateful to all security agencies. We also recognize and appreciate the gallantry and professionalism of our security agencies, as well as the invaluable contribution of local vigilante and hunters whose knowledge of the terrain has proven critical. Their sacrifice, resilience, and commitment remain central to the progress we are making today in Kogi State. However, it must be clearly stated that the government cannot do it alone. The scale and complexity of these challenges require a collective effort. Through the restructuring of the Kogi State Security Trust Fund, we are creating a transparent and inclusive platform that allows individuals, corporate organizations, and institutions to contribute meaningfully to the security of our dear state. In this regard, I wish to make a special appeal to investors and the business community operating within our state. Kogi State has provided an enabling environment for your enterprises to grow and prosper. It is only right that we work together to sustain the environment. Security is the backbone of economic success, and businesses that are thriving here must see their contribution to security as both a responsibility and a strategic investment. By supporting our security initiatives, you are not only protecting your investment, but also helping to secure the future of our dear state, our country, and generation yet unborn. Today, I make a passionate appeal for your support. Your contributions are not just donations. They are investment in peace, stability, and prosperity. When security is strengthened, businesses thrive, investment grows, community flourish, and lives are protected. Let me also be clear about the fact that this administration will not negotiate with criminals. I was not elected to pamper the enemies of our peace. I was elected to ensure those who disturb our peace also do not enjoy peace. We will not bow to fear. We will not surrender our community to lawlessness. Those who choose the path of crime must be prepared to face the full weight of the law. We will confront them, we will crush them, and by the special grace of God Almighty and the collective resolve of our people, we will defeat them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Kogi State holds a critical place in Nigeria's security architecture. Securing our state is in many ways securing the nation. Let us rise to this occasion with unity, purpose, and determination, and work together to build a safer, stronger, and more resilient Kogi State and Nigeria in general. I want to sincerely appreciate each and every one of you that have created time to be here today. And I want to assure you that as a people, as one of you, that you have entrusted your trust, one of my critical responsibilities is to provide security to lives and livelihood, not only for my state, for the entire nation. Kogi State borders 10 good commercial cities. We are the real gateway. If there is no peace in Kogi State, none of us will be able to stay in Abuja, because the overflow from Kogi State will land here in Abuja, and we don't want that. I want to urge each and every one of you to support us in prayer, to make your own contribution most sincerely. Nigeria is our country. Kogi State is our state. We are not leaving it for any criminals. We are not leaving it for anybody. We must join hands together. with Mr. President to pull ourselves out of this inherited economic crisis. And how do we do that? It's for us to see ourselves as one united family, to agree to pick a seat or a position at a table for us to discuss the problem of this country, to profile a joint solution so that we can all be better for it. I want to sincerely appreciate all of you and our leaders that laid this foundation for all of us. And as a person, let me appreciate Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for giving the younger generation an opportunity to showcase themselves. This mandate is not for me alone. This mandate is not about Tududu. This mandate is about the younger generation. That is why I am seeking for your support. It is a window that has given to all of us, the youth of this country. And this window, we are working tirelessly. Myself, Sokoto, Edo, and even Ekiti, including our elder brother that are giving us guide, Borno, Kebbi, and every other governors, to make sure we expand this window so that other youth can come to benefit from it. This is the time they use us. We have been used, some of us have been used before. They turn us to an agent of destruction, destroying ourselves, destroying the land, and of course, the generation to come. Enough is enough. Don't allow yourself to be cajoled. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated. If I can stand here, believe me, you can stand here also. I want to appreciate all our leaders, and of course, the man that God has used to give us this platform, a child that doesn't have an address. So many of us in Kogi State. I asked him one day, why are you doing this? He said, I should go back to Lagos. What Mr. President did in Lagos then, he has gone to Lagos to copy Mr. President's template. And it is still that template we are building upon. Our administration is to continue with the good legacies that Mr. President laid in Lagos then, which he has come to continue to build upon it in Nigeria, replicated by my own leader, His Excellency Alhaji Abilu. Therefore, building on it today is not by mistake. I want to appreciate all my colleagues and, of course, the chief launcher. I thank you most sincerely. I didn't tell you that you are going to be the chief launcher because I know you are all-rounder. And on behalf of the people of Kogi State, I thank you for bringing your investment to Kogi State. I want to assure you that your investment is safe, your investment is protected. By our position and the investment we have in Kogi State, we have no business with poverty. We have no reason to run from our land. A state that is so blessed with so many mineral deposits, a state that is so blessed with Dangote mango, because it has been so neglected, most especially the area of minerals. But we have chosen to unlock that economic potentials of our dear state. And for us to unlock it is to tackle the issue of insecurity. That is why we are here. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much indeed. The governor of Kogi State making the rounds, appreciating those who have come. And he has spoken exceedingly well. He returns to his seat now. The governor of Kogi State, referred popularly as the chief servant of Kogi State, His Excellency Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, has spoken well and says, if you secure Kogi State, you have secured the whole of Nigeria. He salutes Mr. President, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for giving the younger generation an opportunity. He salutes the gallantry of state security agents and local vigilante. And he says Kogi State does not negotiate with criminals, and that he is not brought to sit on that chair just to pamper criminal elements amongst us. He appeals for collaboration and states that government cannot do it alone. I see making the rounds of greetings my brother, former Attorney General of the Federation and Honorable Minister of Justice, Honorable Mohammed Bello Adoke. Onyaram Nyase, it's good to see you. It's always good to see those who have served their nation and continue to stand strong. He also serves his state and is very much a patriotic Kogi State citizen and a patriotic Nigeria. Let's give a round of applause to former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Honorable Mohammed Bello Adoke, who has made the round to join us. I saved this for the last, that the governor of Kogi State has also decided to celebrate without let his predecessor, His Excellency, the former governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, who he says has set up the infrastructure for him to build on for security management in the state, and he has referred to him as his role model. Alhaji Yahaya Bello, we salute you, sir. It's good to see you. I'd like to greet and welcome Professor Nasir Abdul Salam, Managing Director, CEO, Ajokuta Steel Company Limited, who has joined us. We are truly appreciate. A man very much after my heart, who does not diminish the status of his nation. And anytime you mention local governments because of his antecedents as a triple threat, he accepts to do the needful, and only recently was at an event involving local governments of Nigeria, Algon, where he took the lead to explain that the grassroots are very important to the development of Nigeria. Having said so, he is also a man who believes in community. He is also a man who believes in Nigeria and believes in his state, as well as support to all other states. Former Governor, distinguished Senator, help me welcome distinguished Abdul Aziz Yari, the very distinguished Senator Marafan Sokoto Babai Saleh of Ikorodu Kingdom, or Balain of Yoruba land. The very distinguished Abdul Aziz Abubakar Yari will now come forward as the chief launcher to lead us all in how to dip our hands in our pockets. Please, distinguished, we invite you to the podium to do the needful, as you had promised the governor and all of us, that you will stand in this position to help us along in Kogi State. Now that you know that my state needs this help, I know you're a very special person. You will do the needful. There you go.
Your Excellency, Executive Governor of Kogi State, our brothers that are here, Governor of Borno State, Governor of Ekiti, Sokoto, and last but not the least, the youngest among them, the Governor of Edo State, and Deputy Governor of Kwara, and the representative of Governor of Bauchi, Kano, and Ondo. Your Excellency, and Kaduna, sorry, the former governor of Kogi State, my own younger one, and the most close junior brother in the business of governance. Your royal fathers, the great sons and daughters of Kogi states and security architectures, and the members of the Executive Council, Kogi State, Captain of Industries, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. This is a great task, considering Aliko Dangote, Mangal, and others in Kogi State, and just a junior with Gregu to lead this or to wear their shoe. I think I have to be cautious. But the most important when you talk of security, no compromise. I think, if I'm not mistaken, in this business or in this matter, if not Borno, I am the one who suffer most in this country called Nigeria. If not Borno, only Borno, maybe but to start all life, when I stepped in as a governor 3 months until end of the tenure of 8 years, I'm in that role. So I know it very well. And no amount can be enough. No budgeted, no allocation is enough to curtail that menace. It's only that when you are wearing the shoe that you understand where it fits. So the issue of security, we know successive government, they have done their best. Government after government, as the Commissioner of Police, Kogi State, will get a good as a very educating paper, and now which I even asked some of aid to ensure that they liaise with him to get a copy of it so that we can be a reference. Today, organizing this summit and also to get support is not out of place. And we understand why, and we know the situation of Kogi State. Like my own situation, when there's a time I even became a problem to President Buhari, may he soar in peace, that when he saw me, he said, okay, what again? I told him, sir, as where I am today, that trouble is only in Zamfara area. But my mind is not settled when it's going to get to Kebbi, to Sokoto, to Katsina, and other places. So I need support. And as God saw habit, he tried his best. But before the end of the tenure, my own tenure, second term, this problem has gotten to entire neighboring states. Kaduna, Niger, Kebbi, Sokoto, and Katsina. Not even that, and even part of Niger. There was a time that we get support from Niger, but they were ambushed and they killed in Zurmi local government in Zamfara State about 32. They are gallant soldiers. I have to be there for the funeral. I have to be there to conduct the president. So the issue of security, as I said on my opening, that is not something to be compromised. And as we know in the opening of our constitution, that the essence of the entire government is to ensure that post primarily to protect the life and properties. Distinguished gentlemen, I was not given a position to present a paper, but rather to do the most, what is important. But before doing that, I think there are major players that are supposed to be with me here. Representative of Aliko, Dangote, Obajana, we're expecting you to be here so that we can share this together. The representative of, he knows himself. Manga, I'm expecting him to be here. And Ajakuta, still limited. Not just standing here as Abdulaziz Yari, but I'm standing here as the governor says, chairman of Gregu. And Gregu power is concentrated in Kogi, and we need our investment to be secured. You know, when it is talk of money, those in there, they know what it is, so they have to crack brain on what they are going to do. But it's my hope that you should keep at back of your mind that this trust fund is about 500 billion. So we're waiting for Aliko to hear the most senior brother in Africa. And not only that, who is a critical stakeholder in Kogi on Obajana. So from where do we start?
Your Excellency, the Vice President, Your Excellencies, governors here present, Elijah Aliko had wanted to be here himself, but he returned from a trip yesterday, and right now I think he's in the air on his way to another country. But he has asked me to liaise with His Excellency, the Chief Lancer, and in his own view, the issue of security, particularly for Kogi State, is not a matter of just contributions. I think it's a partnership arrangement. And we, as the number one corporate citizen in Kogi State, believe we have a responsibility to partner and work with the government and people of Kogi State on a continuing basis to be able to address the issue of safety and security. Because clearly, as the initial lecture has highlighted, safety and security is fundamental, not only for governance, but also for business. And there's no way that we can only rely on government to be able to provide the security and safety necessary to enhance business. And in that context, our position is that the Aliko Dangote Group will make an initial contribution of 250 million naira, but will also, in addition, sit with the leadership of the fund to work on what is required, particularly with regards to mobility, because we do recognize that among all the other requirements, we have to have effective mobility by law enforcement agencies in order to address security and safety. So our proposal is that we will sit with the team to identify the needs, particularly for mobility, and for the Dangote Group and the fund to agree on a process for ensuring that mobility is available to the fund whenever it is needed. And this is not only the hardware, not only the vehicles, but also making the vehicles available all the time, which will include, I hope, maintenance and fueling of the vehicles to ensure that the mobility is available when and as and when needed. Thank you very much. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We thank the senior stakeholder in Kogi in terms of corporate entity, Alaji Aliko Dangote by extension of announcement. Then the next is Alaji Mangal.
Your Excellency, our chief host, His Excellency Ahmed Usman Ododo, and Your Excellencies present here. We spoke with our chairman just now, and what we agreed to commit as our first contribution is 200 million naira. And then subsequently, we will also work with the State Security Fund to provide mobilities and other facilities needed. Thank you.
Ajakuta says, I think, but I think you better say it yourself.
Yes, I will.
Your Excellencies, the Executive Governor of Kogi State and every other governor here, like the President said a few days ago, nobody can scare me. We are not scared in Ajakuta, based on what my friends have said. However, Ajakuta have always enjoyed a very immense support, security support from the state government, and we've always had cooperation in our security operations. And for me, before coming down here, I had quickly called my minister because we are operating under a ministry, and I told him, well, I have been given a task of speaking to money. And of course, he said, when I am done from here, we should come and put our heads together and we get through to AVM, the leadership of the trust fund. But I can assure His Excellency that no matter how little or big it is, we will make our contribution. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So I think before I get to my level, I need to maybe, I don't know what the state governors are going to do on behalf of the governors that are here and even those that are... Yeah, you can go. Thank you.
I'm trying to reach out to the chairman of the Nigerian Governors Forum, but to no avail. However, on behalf of the five of us that are sitting, the governor of Kebbi State, Ekiti State, Sokoto, then Governor of Edo, and my humble self, each of our own state will contribute 100 million naira each. While, inshallah, I believe the forum will communicate to the fund at a later date with a view to ensuring that appropriate contribution is being made by the other members of the forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Amongst the corporate entities in Kogi State, I'm the only chairman present. And I think that's why the governor quickly crowned me with the position of chief launcher. Immediately I get seated. If Aliko is here, then I'll pass the good message to him not to speak, because he will speak for on behalf of everyone. But we thank God that we're here, and then they have made a very important that continue supporting the government of Kogi State in terms of security. I, on behalf of Gerogufa, as the chairman, we are going to do it in the different stages of, because as we said, the security is a continuous process. But one, equipment. We are going to contribute mobility, vehicles to support the security acted in the state. We give 10 vehicles for the purpose of the security. And then there are times that I has opportunity to visit a company, indigenous company, who are producing drones in this Abuja for surveillance and even for offensive. So we will also contribute 20 drones for both surveillance and offensive. So the management will continue discussion with the security trust funds. And some excellent logistics is needed. In the morning today, the first call I get is from one security that they are looking for logistics. That, yes, Abuja, Kaduna, Kano is secured. You can move any time of the day, any time of the night. We thank God for that mercy, and we congratulate and we hail our security men and women for this, what we have not been experiencing. Even in the train, we have been getting attacked. When the train is there, the bombing of the rail. But today, it's become a history. But one important agent of the security today called me and said that they are looking for logistics so that they can ensure that in the hinterland, they push them or they flush them away so as that they shouldn't organize again to come back to the highway. Logistics is very critical. So therefore, Giregu committed the sum of 500 million naira. Thank you very much. Eugenia, I think I have done my part, so you come and continue the other part of the deal. Thank you very much.
Please, let's continue to clap for our chief launcher, a man who knows how to mobilize, who believes in the Nigerian nation, who has supported the Kogi state government. We truly salute you, your dexterity, your unifying ability, your ability to keep pushing the envelope to make Nigeria better, and today to make Kogi State better. His Excellency, the representative of Mr. Vice President, we continue to thank you for your patience and for being here with us through this period. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the very distinguished Senator Abubakar Yari. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you, and now I'd like to hand back to Director to do the honors.
Thank you so much. I wish you saw the smiles on the faces of our leader, His Excellency Alhaji Ayabello, when he saw that the vision he had for Kogi State has metamorphosed into a breath of fresh air for our people. Let's put our hands together for him. He said something good for us. Your Excellency, you have the full complement of your members of House of Reps. Adavi Okehi is already here. And also here is Okene Ogorimagongo. Thank you so much for being here. And of course, Senator Abubakar Ohere, one of our very finest. He has been seated here. Your Excellency, His Royal Majesty the Ataigala has sent a representative in His Royal Highness Dr. Chief Simeon Uja, the Jalama Baro. Thank you so much. He's sandwiched between the Lulu of Mopa and His Royal Majesty the Ahinai. Thank you so much. Obamu Iwaibeu, thank you for being here. Your Excellency, at this point, I feel honored to now invite a man who has shown so much capacity by trying the best he can to support your government towards ensuring that we curb insecurity in our state. At the last count, I remember he donated some Sienna buses distributed to some local government areas of our state. And he's also spreading his tentacles to all other parts of development of our state because he loves you. He loves what you are doing in Kogi State. I feel honored to now invite our own brother, Prince Engineer Olusoji Olatunji, Chairman CEO of TAG Group Worldwide, to please come forward. It is not how big, but how well. Let's put our hands together for him, please, as he comes to drop something big for us. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President, Your Excellency, the representative of the Senate President, Your Excellency, the most humble, straightforward governor in Nigeria, Alhaji Ahmed Usman Ododo, a perpetual promise keeper, Your Excellencies, all governors here present, the Governor of Ekiti, Kebbi, Borno, Sokoto, and my own dear in-law, Governor Monday Ukpebolo. All deputy governors here present, my leader, the immediate past governor of Kogi State, our national leader, Alhaji Yaya Adoza Bello, the White Lion. Some of our leaders here present, I can see former Attorney General of the Federation, two of them, Mohamed Adoke and Chief Bayo Ojo. Our royal fathers who have come in good numbers, the Oinoye of Igbira, the representative of the Ata of Igala, the Obaro of Kaba, and the Elulu of Mopa. All National Assembly members here present, particularly Senator Snif Karimi, representing Kogi West. All members of the Kogi State House of Assembly, led by the Speaker, all commissioners, special advisors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everybody. Your Excellency, I want to specifically thank you for one thing, because you know why you were elected by the good people of Kogi State. This is an electionary period, but you took it upon yourself that you will not play politics with the life of our people, because security is paramount. And I want to thank you for that. I want to openly again thank our leader, Governor Yaya Bello, for not making a mistake to give us a worthy successor like you. A very good man by all standard. I want to thank you, Your Excellency. If you recall, Your Excellency, I will say I'm the man who saw tomorrow. Because sometime last year, I donated some security patrol vehicles with state-of-the-art gadgets to the Kogi State government. And Your Excellency, it will interest you also to know that my town, Ayere, is a boundary town with Akuno in Ondo State. From that stretch to Kaba, I provided security gadget, communication gadget for the military, the police, the civil defense, and the vigilantes. I did not tell you this, because to me, it is Kogi first and Kogi always. Your Excellency, the Commissioner of Police is here. Just a few weeks ago, I called him to give me an estimate to build a brand new police station in Ayere, and he has given me that estimate. And in no distant time, you will come to commission that police station. This is part of how we are going to secure Kogi State. A safer and secure Kogi is possible, Your Excellency. I want to assure you that. Your Excellency, today, when I saw the caliber of persons you invited here, and my name as one of the co-launchers, I was scared. When I saw my leader, Yari, came in, I said, this one a deep pocket too. After these people talk, you know, what I go do? And as I was seated there, as they were making their donation, I was praying. Make una not to do what you go make me run past this side, come out to. But Your Excellency, I want to assure you, Kogi is for all of us, and we will do the needful. And as a mark of respect to what the governors have done, because they are my leaders, I cannot do more than them. I will support the trust fund with the sum of 90 million naira. And Your Excellency, I want to assure you, the donation is not going to stop today. You know it's something I have keen interest in, and I've been doing. As time goes on, I will continue to liaise with you and the leadership of the trust fund to see how we'll continue to secure our people. Because today, because of the issue of insecurity, we can no longer go to our churches to worship, our mosques. Our farmers cannot go to the farm, and it has impacted negatively on prices of food. Even school calendars have been altered because of insecurity. So I want to thank you for this initiative. I'm going to stand by you to make sure we secure Kogi and sweep away these criminals and terrorists from our land. Thank you, and God bless you all.
I think we can do better for him. Thank you so much. The Shiwaju of Ayere Kingdom. We appreciate you. Your Excellency, some people said they are too shy. They may not be able to announce what they want to give. Please take a look at what we have here. It's here, it's there. Please take a look at that account. You can drop whatever you want to drop in that account. At this point, Your Excellency, permit me to invite to also make a commitment to this endeavor, a distinguished basketballer. When you see him play basketball and jumping high, you know that if you want to donate anything, that thing will never be dwarfed. And I invite our brother, a jolly good fellow, a cool, collected, calm, and calculated gentleman, Dr. Mustafa Abdullahi, DG CEO of Energy Commission of Nigeria. Put your hands together for him, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, you can't set me up. Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Your Excellencies, the governors here present, let me make reference with my own governor, the Chief Servant of Kogi State, Alhaji Usman Ododo, distinguished senators here present, in particular, Senator Yari, the former governor. Thank you so much for that huge donation. Please, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on the protocol already well established here. But before doing so, I must acknowledge my uncle sitting here today, the former Attorney General of the Federation, Alhaji Adoke, Mohammed Adoke. Thank you so much for being here. Now, please, I may want to abridge the protocol a bit. I thought I'll be here to give a lead paper, maybe a technical paper. Let me remind us all that I am actually the Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria. That means I'm a public servant. You know, people's servant, let me put it that way, simply put. And my role is purely technical. I don't think I have a role I don't have any financial role here. However, I have a foundation. Like you said, I love basketball very well, so I try to promote basketball, promote the youth using sports. But I'll speak in just two capacities. I won't waste much time. As the Director General of the Energy Commission of Nigeria, and in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we also have seen tomorrow, we're also one of those Nostradamus, as earlier said by the speaker. The Energy Commission of Nigeria earlier deployed over 5,000 street lights, solar-powered street lights, to power Kogi State. We all know what that means. Security is very paramount, which is why we're here. But how do you secure your state in darkness? Also, in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, Mr. President has recently directed that the ECN, the Energy Commission of Nigeria, solarize the entire tertiary institution and critical infrastructures in the nation. I will be bold to stay here today. Kogi State will very, very soon be receiving an award letter of 3 to 10 megawatts of solar mini-grid system across every tertiary institution in Kogi State. I believe this intervention is enough. Okay, if you say I have to do more. So on behalf of myself and my foundation, the DAM Foundation, I will be donating an XXX amount to support this initiative. Permit me to just stay private a bit. Like I said earlier, I'm the people's servant and I'm an appointee. I'm the only appointee called, to this stage today to make this pledge. So you need to protect my job. So I will definitely, as usual, support my state as a true son of this soil, obviously. So the governor is shaking his head because he knows what we can do. We are talking and do, obviously. So I will definitely reach out to the trust fund to make sure that I put what I can afford. One thing I want to assure you is they must have some couple of zeros in it, but I don't know how many zeros that will be. Thank you so much, and I wish Kogi State all the best.
Thank you so much, DG Energy Commission of Nigeria. At this point, I invite distinguished President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by distinguished Senator Jibril Issa Echocho. He will also do it on behalf of members of the National Assembly from our state. So he'll be performing a double-edged function. Let's put our hands together for him. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, very well represented here today by the Minister of State, Regional Development, Malam Uba Megiri Ahmed, the Executive Governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, Doctor, all the governors here present today, the major stakeholders, our royal fathers here present today, Obarov Kaba, representative of Fatah of Igala, Ohirohi of Igbiraland, you are all welcome. I also want to specifically mention my own mentor, Alhaji Yaya Adoza Bello, who graciously gave me this position that I'm occupying today. I thank you. I thank you and I thank you. I forever remain grateful to you. I say it anyway. The chief launcher, sir. One of us, but you know, all fingers are not equal. You are just wearing a senatorial cap, but we know where we belong. Well, there's one peculiar thing about distinguished Senator Yari. I don't know how to describe him. He is so passionate about helping whoever he comes across. Philanthropist to the core. Your Excellency, permit me to say that even at the National Assembly, those of us who are floor members are beneficiaries of his are his beneficiaries. Are his beneficiaries. I'm sorry I have to mention it here because it is good for people to know so that people can mimic what you are doing. During the last Salah, he gave me a trailer load of 600 bags of rice. And he gave to every other Muslim senator. During the last Christmas, he gave a trailer load of 600 bags of rice to each of the Christian senators. So, may Almighty Allah reward you. May Almighty Allah reward you. Well, I'm going to talk, I'm going to speak on behalf of the Senate President. He extends his apology. He's not here today because we resumed from a long break today, and there are so many burning national issues that require our attention. So as we at plenary, he extends his apology. He told me that he's particularly close to you, and I would have loved to be here today to honor you. I want to believe that this summit is apt. Funding has been the major problem of security challenges in Nigeria. Funding has been the major problem. When the security chiefs, the Chief of Defense Staff, Chief of Army Staff, Air Force, Navy come to us, there is one constant problem, and that is lack of funding, lack of adequate funding. That has always been a problem. So for Kogi State to have taken this initiative means that you have gone on the right trajectory, trying to bridge that funding gap. I thank you very much for this initiative. You have also gone further to talk about public-private partnership, which is equally very commendable. But I want to add another source, outsourcing. So you have direct funding, which you are getting from these donations. You have public-private partnership arrangements,
and then you also have to escalate it to outsourcing. The advantage of outsourcing is that you don't care about the management. All you want is results. So you outsource the services of security agents. All you want is results. So you are not bothered about how they manage the enterprise, but they give you results. Having said that, okay, on behalf of the Senate President, well, I don't have the mandate to speak on the amount he wants to donate, but I have the mandate to make commitment that he's going to donate something handsomely, and that will be passed through me. I equally want to speak on behalf of my colleagues at the National Assembly. We have agreed to make a donation of 50 million naira. We will spread it amongst ourselves, and we will credit the account accordingly. On this note, I want to thank everybody here for coming, representing the Senate President, but more importantly, I'm also an indigene of Kogi State. So I'm proud to be associated with whatever has happened here today. I thank you all. You are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, the representative of the Senate President, and also a distinguished son of Kogi State, the very distinguished Senator Chetro. We thank you so much for making that commitment from the National Assembly, and for giving us a heads up that the President of the Senate will be doing something handsomely. The Governor of Kogi State, His Excellency, is taking note of all of that. At this point, I'd like to quickly invite two persons. But before I do that, I want to recall a comment made by one of our co-launchers here about the humility of His Excellency, the Governor. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, when I arrived here 2 good hours ahead of the event, waiting as it is professionally done to do, the Governor suddenly appeared, which is most unusual. And he did what they call leadership by walking around. So he walked around the room, he greeted everybody, he made sure everyone was fine, he checked on all the facilities and asked the requisite questions and spoke to his team members. Of course, retired AVM Omeza was around to talk to him about what was going on. And when he finished, he said to me, I'm going to stay here and receive all my brother governors and my guests. And so when a gentleman came here, one of our co-launchers, and said, a very humble man, indeed it is true. And Your Excellency, so it is with many of his brother governors whom I know personally, very humble. The job that they have to do is for the people. And so the Governor of Kogi State has shown by being a leader by example. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Because time is fast spent and our brothers and sisters must pray at the appropriate time, I'd like to appeal that when you come up, please make your donations and from wherever it is coming so that we can fast track this. I'd like to quickly invite to the podium the representative of the Kano State Governor and the representative of the Bauchi State Governor who have some pledges to make at this point. Please make your way to the podium. Yes, I'm told that Kano and Bauchi have something to say real quick. Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, I crave your indulgence as they make their way forward to do this honor for us all. Please encourage them. It's a long walk.
Thank you so much, Madam Eugene. Your Excellency, the host governor, and a distinguished gentleman that has a very unique and special slogan, perpetual promise keeper. This is very unique. When I heard this name, I must confess, it took me up, and I felt for you to earn this name, you must be doing something very different, because that is the most symbolic trait that makes a man who he is wherever. Your Excellencies, the representative of the Vice President, Your Excellencies, governors here present, and His Excellency, the White Lion, the former governor, when His Excellency Governor Zulum made pledge on behalf of the 5 governors that were seated here, I had to consult His Excellency, your good friend, the governor, and I said already we have gotten pledge from 5 governors of 100 million naira each. And instantly the governor said, please go ahead, and you have my mandate. Kano State is donating 100 million naira to these funds too. So thank you so much, and it's a very, very, very ambitious plan that you have for security enhancement and improvement in Kogi State. We wish you well, and we pray that it succeeds. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Please give our warm regards to His Excellency, the Governor of Kano State, well known and famously known as Alhaji Abba Gida Gida. We thank His Excellency for all the wonderful work that he's doing in Kano. It's now the turn of my brother, His Excellency, Honorable Bala in Bauchi State. Please, I hand over the mic to you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. With your permission, Your Excellencies, I want to properly introduce myself, because when the MC, my sister, is Engineer Abu, was introducing my name, she haphazardly introduced my name. And I was even right to write a petition as a professional to my elder brother, Professor, so that because if my elder brother, the governor of Bauchi State, who will send his representative, and now you have done a haphazardly job, I think a former minister of the FCT who has been partner with the Kogi State government in terms of security, I think we have to write a petition and forward it to my elder brother, and so that the professor will process that thing. Okay, Your Excellency, she has to apologize. My name is Honorable Suleiman Jibrin C. Chroman C. Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Bauchi State on Security. I'm standing to represent him, which he asked me. First and foremost, the representative of the Vice President and other governors and all other important dignitaries are here seated. He is welcoming you to this important summit and fundraising, which concerns our entire life. The chief servants are, my elder brother is congratulating you for being proactive in terms of security, in terms of all the inheritance of the project which you have gotten a very, very proper roadmap, as you have said in your early speech, by your former mentor, the former governor, Alhaji Yahaya Bello. He said, I should congratulate you for having such kind of mentor who designed a roadmap for you and to take off, and which this is where you are. Without your security, there's no any achievement in this country can be achieved. He said, I should give his assurance on behalf of government of Bauchi State and himself that he should also look at the situation of Bauchi State, which is now everybody now we have experienced such kind of challenges, which is my elder brother, the professor is seated here. He is always all around to see all over places it's been peace. But he said, I should give you the assurance he is going to liaise with the co-launcher himself to now give his donation, which I will be sent through the co-launcher, the Marafa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. They say it is good to apologize when you err, and to err is human. So the Bauchi State Governor is my brother. I cannot make a mistake concerning his representative, so I apologize. As it so happens, as you know, I do this quite often. And when people scribble names for me, sometimes they don't write it very clearly, and you're struggling to read the name. So the name that came to me wasn't very clear. So I apologize, Honorable Suleiman, Senior Special Advisor to the Governor of Bauchi State, His Excellency, my brother, my apologies. Having apologized, two state governors, Kano and Bauchi, have done the needful to join the 5 that are here. We congratulate the Kogi State Governor, and we know still more is coming. I'd like to quickly invite to the podium, so that we can fast-track this event, the representative of the Managing Director, CEO of Zenith Bank, my sister, Dame Dr. Adora Umeoji, and the person of the Executive Director for Zenith Bank PLC, Mr. Louis Odom, to please come forward quickly and do the honors for Zenith Bank. Mr. Odom, where are you seated? I knew that I saw him earlier in the day. Is he still here? Zenith Bank. There he is. Mr. Odom is making his way on behalf of my sister, Dame Dr. Adora Umeji, Group Managing Director, Zenith Bank.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. Please permit me to stand on existing protocols. My greetings to everyone. I speak on behalf of Zenith Bank. Everybody that came, some people that came earlier said they are son of the soil. I will also say I'm a son of the soil of Kogi because we have good relationship with Kogi State that has been long, and we always support the state. As an entity, we don't make public announcements, but we've also communicated to His Excellency our contribution towards this. This is very good. We have operations in Kogi, so anything that borders on Kogi, we'll be interested. So this is my own way of coming to say we support the state, and we'll keep supporting the state. We are ready to keep working with the state. Thank you very much, His Excellency, for the support we receive from you, and we'll always be there for Kogi. Our donation has also been communicated, as I mentioned earlier. Thank you very much. I wish you a very successful program. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. And he has spoken well. We thank Zenith Bank for always rising up to the occasion. And for now supporting my state, I will remember to call Dame Dr. Adora Umeji, Group Managing Director and CEO, to thank her for this honor. We thank you most sincerely. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I teach in a university, so that means that I understand what it means to be time conscious. I'm also a broadcaster, retiring as Executive Director of Programs from the Nigerian Television Authority. I would like at this point, as I was saying, having retired as Executive Director and being a broadcaster for so long, time is of the essence, and time matters to us.
Fatal attraction is where I'm at. There's no escaping me. I just wanna be
Every other donation will be received. Donations don't end, and therefore we would like to urge you to please keep the donations coming. Kogi State needs to be secure. On behalf of our chief launcher, you must continue to bring these donations to honor him and the state. I would like, therefore, at this point, to speak to our big elephant in the room. I'd like to ask us to keep the aisle quiet. The number 2 citizen of the country is still here. Therefore, we must give respect to whom honor is due. Give him his honor. Please permit me at this point. It is now my singular honor and pleasure to invite a man who has distinguished himself across the various sections of Nigeria and who is a unifier across communities and who has risen to become His Excellency, our amiable Vice President, the very distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is represented today by the Honorable Minister of State Regional Development, Honorable Uba Maigari Amadu. Please help me to celebrate our representative of the Vice President, our special guest of honor, who is coming up here now to do the honors.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, ably represented by the able Senator Jibrin Isa Chocho, our host and Governor of Kogi State, His Excellency Alhaji Ahmad Usman Ododo, distinguished Chief Launcher, and I would say political compass of the Northwest, distinguished Senator Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar, His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, FNSC, Governor of Borno State, His Excellency Biodun Abayomi Oebanji, Governor of Ekiti State, His Excellency Senator Monde Okwewolo, Governor of Edo State, the representative of the Governor of Nasarawa State, representative of the Governor of Bauchi, Kano States, Your Excellency, the immediate past Governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, the White Lion. Let me use the Ohinoi of Igwiraland as the point of contact to recognize all royal fathers here present. Distinguished senators here present, members of the House of Representatives here present, I want to use Mr. Duro Miseko as a point of contact to recognize all members of the National Working Committee here present. My name is Uba Maigari Ahamadu, Minister of State for Regional Development. Mr. President, distinguished Senator, Mr. Vice President, distinguished Senator Kashin Shetima, GCON, holds all distinguished governors in high esteem, and particularly our brother Alhaji Ahmad Ododo, Governor of Kogi State. I would have been here himself up until the 11th hour. And he asked me to sit in for him, and that's why I'm here. So I will simply go ahead and read the Vice President's speech, which is aptly titled, Staying Ahead of the Storm. A serious nation does not wait for danger to mature before it begins to think. It reads the weather before the storm, studies the fault lines before they crack, and summons its collective will before fear is allowed to dictate the terms of public life. That is what it means to be proactive in a country such as ours, a country that depends on our shared vigilance and our collective collaboration to neutralize the threats of the times. This is why Kogi State deserves commendation. This gathering speaks to urgency, foresight, and duty. I thank my dear brother, His Excellency Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo, FCA, for convening this timely engagement and for recognizing that the burden of security is too grave to be left to chance, too complex to be addressed in fragments, and too central to the well-being of the people to be postponed for another day. Kogi State occupies a strategic place in the geography of our federation. It is a meeting point of regions, a gateway of commerce, a corridor of movement, and a bridge between communities. That centrality is a blessing, but it also imposes a solemn obligation. A state so strategically placed must think beyond its borders, anticipate risk before they spill over, and organize its response with clarity and resolve. That is why this summit is not only timely, it is indeed necessary. We inherited a complex security challenge across the nation, compounded by years of neglect, economic anxieties, communal tensions, criminal opportunism, and the persistence of those who profit from disorder. For this reason, we have no luxury of rest. We cannot retreat into complacency, because the agents of chaos and profiteers of conflict are always lurking in the shadows, determined to sabotage every effort we roll out to build peace, restore order, and secure lives and livelihoods across the country. The enemies of peace are organized, they are deliberate, they adapt, so our response must be organized, deliberate, and adaptive. His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has made confronting security lapses a top priority. A top priority for this administration. He understands with unmistakable clarity that without security, there can be no durable development, no meaningful investment, no stable communities, and no credible future. That is why the federal government continues to apply both kinetic and non-kinetic measures to address the challenges before us. We are strengthening operational capacity, supporting interagency coordination, improving intelligence, and investing in the conditions that make peace sustainable. Initiatives such as this one complement ongoing efforts. They enrich the national response by drawing on local knowledge, community ownership, institutional support, and the strategic partnerships required for lasting stability. There is a truth we must all hold close. An affliction in any part of this country is a burden upon another. Indeed, it is a burden upon us all. No state in this federation can afford the illusion that the troubles of its neighbor are none of its concern. Kogi State understands this. Kogi State understands this truth, perhaps more keenly than many of us, and that is why it has taken the wise path of preparation, collaboration, and foresight. I am especially pleased that this initiative goes beyond diagnosis and enters the territory of practical response. The vision, as outlined by the organizers, includes high-level dialogue among government officials, security experts, traditional leaders, development partners, and key members of the private sector, alongside support for strategic logistic bases across the 3 senatorial districts of Kogi State to strengthen coordination and improve response capability. That is how serious societies confront danger, by thinking together, planning together, and investing together. I commend the Kogi State Security Trust Fund and all those who have worked to bring this summit to life. The strength of any security framework lies not only in the courage of those who wear the uniform, but also in the commitment of institutions, communities, and citizens who refuse to surrender their future to fear. Security, after all, is a collective enterprise. As you begin your deliberations today, I urge you to speak frankly, think boldly, and act with the seriousness this moment demands. Let your conversations yield not only insight, but also direction. Let them produce not only recommendations, but also commitments. Let them strengthen the hands of those on the front lines and reassure the citizens whose hopes depend on the success of our common effort. I wish you fruitful deliberations and enduring success in this noble cause. May your discussions advance the peace, stability, and security of Kogi State. And may the outcome of this summit stand as a model of what is possible when leadership chooses foresight over delay and collaboration over indifference. Thank you, and may God bless Kogi State, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
You are not clapping. Excellent.
Galango Riongo Ebola Hano Hala Panganga. Our #1 state in Nigeria. Our Kamenia. I am Chineke Nagile de Wakamenia na Jesus. I am Shindile Yara Governor Nachi. Our Robodo Kahalano. Bahala Ria Mino Joya Manaha. I want Joya Manaha.